Welcome everyone. Hope so you are doing well. Today we will discuss topic of dysphagia, a very important topic as far as the surgical OPD is concerned. I am Dr. Mohammad Salim Iqbal, Assistant Professor Surgery. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Let's start our today's topic, which is dysphagia. Learning outcome of over today's lecture will be definition, what is dysphagia, swallowing mechanism, what is the clinical presentation of dysphagia. Then we will discuss about the grades of dysphagia, etiology, investigation, and its management. First of all, we will discuss what is dysphagia. Dysphagia is basically derived from Greek word phagia, to eat, and dys mean difficulty. And simply we say dysphagia when the eating becomes very much unenjoyable, and it refers to the sensation that food is somewhere stuck in the food passage. Basic impairments behind may be neurological causes, mechanical or obstructive causes. Act of swallowing requires passage of food from mouth into the stomach, and we basically divide it into the two passages and rather two phases: oropharyngeal phase, which is labeled as voluntary phase, and esophageal phase, which is labeled as involuntary phase. In oropharyngeal phase, basically the food bolus is pushed into the food passage, and it involves elevation of tongue, posterior movement of tongue, then elevation of soft palate, hard bone elevation, then tilting of epiglottis, as you know from previous background knowledge of physiology. And in esophageal phase, basically there are three types of peristaltic waves. Primary peristaltic wave, which occur when the bolus enter inside the esophagus. Secondary peristaltic wave, once the food gets obstructed, stretch reflexes are activated, and secondary peristaltic wave starts. That further puts the bolus into the stomach. Tertiary peristaltic waves are dysfunctional and involve irregular, diffuse, or simultaneous contractions, and these are usually picked up on manometry. One thing to remember that when we say that the patient is having vomiting, the esophageal peristaltic wave does not reverse in the esophagus. Vomiting is because of the forceful contraction of the abdominal muscle. What can be the clinical presentation of dysphagia? It can present with pain and difficulty in swallowing, sensation of food being stuck into the throat or chest, coughing, nasal regurgitation, dysarthria, and with the nasal speed, burning sensation in the chest, having food or stomach is back up into the throat, and unexpectedly losing weight. How we grade dysphagia? Basically there are 6 grades of dysphagia. Grade 1, patient simply complains that he or she has difficulty in swallowing, but he or she is eating normally. In grade 2, patient says that he or she has to take liquids with meal. In grade 3, patient is able to take semi-solid but unable to take any solid diet. Grade 4 patient able to swallow liquids only. And grade 5 patient, they are unable to swallow liquids but they can swallow saliva. And grade 6 patient, they cannot even swallow their own saliva. And these patients present with dribbling of saliva along with complaints of dysphagia. So before having a good grip on the topic of dysphagia, we should know what can be the types of dysphagia, what are the causes of dysphagia, and how we have to approach a patient that presents in outdoor patient department or during your examination with complaints of dysphagia. So on the basis of location, we can divide it into the oropharyngeal dysphagia or esophageal dysphagia. On the basis of onset, we can divide it acute dysphagia, chronic dysphagia. On the basis of progression, we can divide it is a progressive dysphagia or intermittent dysphagia. Basically and broadly, we divide dysphagia into two main categories: oropharyngeal dysphagia and esophageal dysphagia. Now we have to remember about the etiology of dysphagia, because we have to make differential diagnosis. Once we will able to know the cause of dysphagia, then we will be able to treat it. So briefly, I will go to the etiology of dysphagia. So dysphagia can be oropharyngeal. When some patient says that he cannot initiate the act of swallowing, he will say that, sir, I put food inside the oral cavity, but I cannot push that food back into the passage. So this patient will be having basically oropharyngeal dysphagia. And what are the etiologies of oropharyngeal dysphagia? Multiple etiologies. You are supposed to remember only few. Central nervous system etiology, just as a patient of CVA, brainstem tumor, Parkinson's disease. Peripheral nervous system pathologies, peripheral neuropathies. Then myasthenia gravis patient. Then muscular problem. Mechanical or obstructive causes can be inflammatory causes, just as abscesses, peritonsillar abscess, tuberculous abscess, retropharyngeal abscess, neoplastic causes, then extrinsic compressions. Oropharyngeal dysphagia can be due to disorders of upper esophageal sphincter, incomplete relaxation हो रही है उसकी, inadequate opening हो रही है और delayed relaxation. Then esophageal dysphagia. Main presenting complaint of patient with esophageal dysphagia is that patient says that he feels that something he or she has taken has got stuck inside the food passage, usually suprasternal area or behind the sternum. So what can be the etiologies of esophageal dysphagia? Neuromuscular or motility disorders, most common eclasia or diffuse esophageal spasm, and then comes the hypertensive lower esophageal sphincters, motility disorders secondary to collagen diseases, collagen vascular diseases, Chagas disease. Then mechanical obstruction caused by esophagitis, as in gastroesophageal reflux disease, infectious esophagitis, medication-induced causes, radiation, gastric injuries. Then there can be disorders of valves, esophageal strictures as anchor diverticulum, then SP phrenic diverticula. Then comes the disease causing external contraction, such as hiatal hernia, some vascular rings, some foreign bodies, or carcinomas. So what are associated symptoms and possible etiologies? This slide is very much important. I wish that I may be able to memorize all of you. When a patient says that he or she has difficulty in initiating the process of swallowing, then the patient is having oropharyngeal dysphagia. Patient says food stick after swallow in the chest, then it is esophageal dysphagia. If the patient is having progressive dysphagia, suppose it was first grade 1, then 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6, then it can be due to neuromuscular dysphagia or it can be due to carcinoma. If patient says that I was absolutely fine and suddenly I developed dysphagia, then this patient is either having foreign body or esophagitis. Intermittent dysphagia can be in esophageal motility disorder like diffuse esophageal spasm, nutcracker esophagus. If patient says that he has cough early in swallowing, then it is neuromuscular dysphagia. If patient has complaint of cough late in swallowing, then it is obstructive dysphagia. Then pain after swallowing, it is due to esophagitis. Dysphagia related to solid food only, it is obstructive dysphagia. And dysphagia related to solid and liquids both, it is neuromuscular dysphagia. And dysphagia relieved by repeated swallows is due to achalasia. how we have to evaluate a patient with dysphagia. We have basically to take to reach on the diagnosis of the cause and to treat the patient. We need to know detailed history of the patient. Then we have to perform clinical examination, definitely investigation. For history of a patient with dysphagia, you have to ask the question that to the patient. Some are very much significant in the list, which I have shown to you. I will speak in the language in which you have to ask from the patient. आपको निगलने की तकलीफ कब से है? आहिस्ता आहिस्ता से शुरू हुई है या अचानक? क्या इससे पहले आप बिल्कुल ठीक थे? इसका क्या मतलब है कि ये प्रोग्रेसिव डिस्फेजिया की तरफ है या ये सडन ऑनसेट है, एक्यूट ऑनसेट है? कौन सी चीज़ निगलने में दुश्वारी हो रही है? पहले रोटी निगलने में होती थी, पानी पीने में, या दोनों में एक साथ हुई है? अगर ग्रेड वाइज डिस्फेजिया है, ओल्ड एज है, तो मे बी मिलिग्नेंसी, और अगर वो सडन हुई है तो मोटिलिटी डिसऑर्डर हो सकता है, न्यूरोमस्कुलर डिसऑर्डर हो सकते हैं। खुराक अटकती है तो किस जगह अटकती महसूस होती है? खुराक निगलने में दर्द महसूस होता है, उल्टी तो नहीं आती, सीने के पिछले हिस्से में जलन तो नहीं होती, मतलब रेट्रोस्टर्नल बर्निंग, देन regurgitation of food. Then you have to ask what I say, when you take history you have to divide in 4 components. You have to complete all the components during history taking, and open question, closed question, focused question and fixed question. So you have to complete your history in these formats. Then comes the investigations. In investigations you will do plain x-ray. In plain x-ray you can pick a foreign body if it is acute dysphagia, as shown in picture. Then barium swallows, barium studies, you can pick diverticulars, you can have a bird beak sign which is pathognomic for achalasia, you can have nutcracker esophagus, secreti, you can have strictures causing caustic injuries, sliding hernias, irregular filling defects showing carcinomas. Then sign radiography, a radiograph of moving objects, a radiographic visualization of food bolus movements from oral cavity to hypopharynx. Then comes the endoscopy, rigid endoscopy and flexible endoscopy can be used for foreign body removal. These are endoscopic findings of the esophagus, Barrett's esophagitis है, diverticulum, Chardsey rings, foreign body, paraesophageal hernia, carcinoma esophagus, corrosive strictures. Manometric study है, which you have to know about the pressure measurements inside the esophageal cavity. Then 24-hour pH monitoring. Most direct method of measuring increased reflex esophageal exposure to gastric juice is by indwelling a pH electrode. Endoscopic ultrasound, which is very much helpful for TNM staging. Then comes the treatment. Treatment basically depends on the cause. You have to treat the cause of dysphagia. General treatment categories are lifestyle modification, drug therapies, endoscopies, dilatations, stentings, chemoradiation, and surgery. Then lifestyle modification, avoidance of precipitating foods, fatty foods, अल्कोहल्स इनटेक नहीं करना, कैफीन कम लेनी है, ओरल हाइजीन अच्छी करनी है, अवॉइडेंस ऑफ रिकम्बेंसी, पोस्ट पेरेंडियल पोजीशन, एलिवेशन ऑफ हेड ऑफ बेड, बिल्कुल फ्लैट नहीं लेटना, पेशेंट को आप कहेंगे सीधा नहीं लेटना, नीचे सराहना रखे, कोई तकिया रखे या हेड साइड ऊपर करेगा, खाना खाने के फ़ौरन बाद लेट नहीं जाना, ओरल हाइजीन अच्छी करनी है, सिगरेट नहीं पीने और वजन कम करना है, जो कि बहुत मुश्किल काम है। ठीक है जी, दिस इज द स्लाइड शोइंग च्यू वेल, सिट स्ट्रेट, raise up upper part of bed, ठीक है, don't drink with meal, then take walk after eating, stress manage करें, उसके लिए बहुत अच्छा हाल है, दुरूद शरीफ पढ़ें, अल्लाह को याद करें। स्मोकिंग और अल्कोहल जो है उसको निकाल दें अपनी ज़िंदगी से। एक्सरसाइज अच्छी करें। सोते वक्त ना खाएं, खाना सोने से कुछ देर पहले खाना खाएं, और खाना खाने के बाद एक्सरसाइज ना करें। ईट लेस फॉर डिनर, नो प्रेशर ऑन स्टमक। If inflammatory causes are found, then you are supposed to give antibiotics, antifungals, and if abscess is the cause, you have to give incision and drainage. Drug therapy for different types of dysphagia. These are H2 blockers, antacids, PPIs, and Maxolons used for reflex esophagitis. मोटिलिटी डिसऑर्डर के लिए नाइट्रेट्स, कैल्शियम चैनल ब्लॉकर्स हैं, बोटॉक्स इंजेक्शंस हैं। एंड इफ द पेशेंट इज हैविंग सम कास्टिक इंजरीज, देन यू विल गिव स्टीरॉइड्स, मिल्क, एग वाइट, एंटासिड्स। थेराप्यूटिक एंडोस्कोपी, foreign body removal, as shown in the image, that with endoscope you have removed the food bolus. Then different types of dilatation systems are available. If the patient is having esophageal stricture, then you can dilate it. Then different types of stents, self-expanding stents, covered, uncovered. These are used for managing the dysphagia. Then chemoradiation. The role of chemoradiation in early grades of dysphagia is that it can be used as a neoadjuvant therapy. But if the patient is having advanced disease, grade 4-6 disease, then you can use chemoradiation for palliation. Other options are diverticulotomy, diverticulopexy, myotomy if there is esophageal diverticulum. मोटिलिटी डिसऑर्डर है, मायोटमी कर देंगे। रिफ्लेक्स इसोफेजाइटिस है, you have to do surgical procedure according to the cause. Once the cause is known, you will treat it. Then hernia repair, hiatal hernia. If the patient is having hiatal hernia, you have to do hiatal hernia repair. And if the patient is having malignancy of esophagus, then definitely you have to do surgery for malignancy. मोटिलिटी डिसऑर्डर्स हैं लॉन्ग इसोफेजियल मायोटमी, हेलर मायोटमी, एंड दीज मायोटमीज शुड बी डन विद fundoplications, partial fundoplications to prevent later on regurgitations and reflux. Different types of fundoplications are Nissen fundoplication, Dor fundoplication. You are just supposed to remember the names of these type of fundoplication. And if there is Theta among you, then he can know the different types and categories of these fundoplications. And these are used when there is failure of medical treatment for reflux. There is defective lower esophageal sphincter. Stricture है, उसकी ट्रीटमेंट करने के बाद आप कर सकते हैं। Barrett's esophagitis है, and in conjunction with myotomy or hiatal hernia repair. No, esophageal resection. In esophageal, what are the indication for esophageal resection? Carcinoma esophagus with 2 or 3 fields, lymphadenectomy, long-standing achalasia, extensive corrosive injury. Surgical approaches can be open, laparoscopic, warts, and robotic techniques. In open technique, trans-hiatal hernia or Ingalls technique, laparotomy plus transthoracic Ivor-Lewis technique, or 3-phase McCohen techniques can be used. Then laparoscopic technique, obviously, you can do Ivor-Lewis through laparoscopy or transhiatal approach. Now this is a diagram showing Ivor-Lewis procedure. This is the growth, and you do resection of this growth, and do anastomosis in the thorax. Transhiatal approach, you are not need to open the thorax, you open the abdominal cavity and then you mobilize the diseased part of esophagus, then you pull it up and make an anastomosis in the neck. This is Mako and three-phase technique. Abdominal incision hai, thoracic incision hai, and incision in the neck. Then next come how you reconstruct. Once the you have removed the esophagus, then you have to reconstruct it. So reconstruction modalities are stomach, colon, and jejunum. Thank you very much. Hope so you people have enjoyed it, and I try my level best to make you aware of about the causes of dysphagia. Actually, the time was short, and one thing I was lacking, that I could not interact with you people to know what you are learning. So if there is any difficulty to any student in having grip on the topic of dysphagia, you are always welcome. You can text me on my number, WhatsApp number. I will reply you. And enjoy your leaves. Almighty Allah bless you. Thank you. Take care. Allah Hafiz.